tonight. The death toll in Pakistan could hit 40,000 after the earthquake.
There's no food and water.
There are miraculous rescues, but help is not getting to the millions who need it. In other news, a painful prediction: it could cost 70% more to heat your home this winter. The difficult decisions for people who cannot afford it. The new, instantly successful fight against child predators, the Oprah factor, at work again. And the penguins marching into the middle of the culture wars. Does their mating behavior really say something about traditional values?
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight. Reporting from ABC News headquarters, Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening. There's no such thing as FEMA in Pakistan, but after Hurricane Katrina, most Americans recognize the frustration and despair that comes when disaster strikes and the government cannot cope. In Pakistan today, millions of people who survived the earthquake 3 days ago are desperate and frustrated. The vast majority of them are not getting the help they need. Aid workers in Pakistan now estimate the death toll there could hit 40,000. They cannot reach large parts of the region hardest hit. Tonight, throughout the quake zone, nature is compounding the misery. ABC's David Wright is there.
As if it's not miserable enough to lose your home, lose family members and friends, to have just about nothing left, today it started to rain. It soaked the dead, still lying in the streets, and the living, still waiting for proper medical care. It soaked everything. The lucky few have plastic sheets, not much shelter at all.
Everything we need, we want to need, there's nothing.
Today, many burned what was left of their homes, trying to keep warm. The relief effort is gearing up. Today, U.S. helicopters dispatched from Afghanistan brought in loads of tents, but the people here need thousands more.
Not only are many roads impassable, but unpredictable weather has made it difficult for aircraft as well. This afternoon, they had to cancel all the aid flights because the helicopters can't make it over the mountains.
It's frustrating. We tried to go back out just now, and the weather was an issue, so that was really frustrating.
And the people are desperate. Today, looters took whatever they could grab from the aid trucks, in one case at gunpoint. Miracles are still possible. Today, a French search and rescue team snaked a periscope camera into the rubble of a boys' school. The face peered back at them. The father reassured his 4-year-old son. 3 hours later, they pulled him to safety. This father carried his 8-year-old daughter all the way down from a remote mountain village. She, too, was pulled from the rubble. Maniba has a head injury and a broken arm. Her father managed to get her all the way to the front of the evacuation line. I'm hopeful and happy, he said. But at the last moment, the army turned them away. The helicopter was already full. David Wright, ABC News, Rawalpindi, Pakistan.
As we said, officials in Pakistan believe that thousands of people affected by this quake have still not received help of any kind. Today, cameras did make it to one of the places where relief has not. Here's ABC's Gretchen Peters.
Perched high in the Kashmir mountains, tiny villages such as Dal Qazi were hard to reach before the earthquake. Now they're almost impossible to reach. There are no telephones here to call for aid, no roads to bring in heavy equipment, no place on these slopes to land a rescue helicopter. This Pakistani television crew climbed for more than 2 hours up steep mountain paths to document conditions here. Along the way, they came across this family, which had already traveled 7 hours by foot in search of medical attention. Our house fell on us, says the husband. We don't know where to go for help. Nobody knows just how many families like this one are stranded in remote areas in desperate need of assistance. This is the most challenging aspect of the rescue effort here. And 4 days after the earthquake, rescue workers say they have really no idea how they'll reach people trapped high in the mountains.
There are probably going to be some villages that don't receive help, or certainly don't receive it for weeks.
Along the main street of Dal Qazi, utter devastation. 2,000 people died here, villagers say, more than half the town's population. but no one has come to help them collect and bury the dead. Families are living in these tents, afraid to enter their crumbling homes. And there's no sign life will get easier anytime soon. Gretchen Peters, ABC News, Islamabad, Pakistan.
And now to the disaster zone in this country, the Gulf Coast region devastated by the hurricanes. President Bush made his 8th visit there today. He stopped at an elementary school that just reopened in Mississippi and a home building site near New Orleans. The president said, quote, "Out of this rubble will come some good." He also said that Washington should not dictate how New Orleans rebuilds. The recovery effort in New Orleans reached a milestone today. 43 days after Hurricane Katrina ravaged the city, the Army Corps of Engineers declared that New Orleans finally is dry, drained of more than 200 billion gallons of floodwater. And that is not the only sign of progress. ABC's Steve Osinsami is in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, the city's university reopened this week. 7,000 students are now attending classes.
We offered about half of the classes that we ordinarily offer. We wanted to make sure the graduating seniors were accommodated, so we offered those classes.
Children's Hospital opened yesterday. Today they had 14 surgeries.
Things are getting back to normal. It'll be slow, but the good thing is that we're here and that we're open.
Linda Heflin, a resident who lost her home, just found a job. She can now move out of this shelter.
It pays enough money where it's going to help me get back on my feet a little bit, maybe.
Across the Gulf region, there are signs of progress every day, something that is cleaned up or rebuilt, signs of recovery. In Louisiana, there are 16,000 people living in shelters, down from 66,000. Every oil pipeline in the region is now flowing. There is still plenty of work to do, but for a moment, the simple things bring hope. The high school football team that's practicing, classes start on Monday. The barber shop that reopened.
Every now and again, they pass by a mirror and realize that they need a haircut.
This popular shoe store.
It's very harsh. I have a hard time sometimes really just getting through it. Like I said, you know, sometimes I wake up and I just say, this is all just a bad dream.
He says, like most people in this region, he will pick himself up and start all over again. Steve Osinsami, ABC News, New Orleans.
That's the spirit. There was startling news today about what it may cost to heat your home this winter. The American Gas Association said people who heat their homes with natural gas should expect a 50 to 70% increase in their bills. Heating oil is up almost as much. ABC's Lisa Stark joins us. And Lisa, homeowners are facing even higher costs if it's a cold winter.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. You know, the good news, if there's any, is we don't expect a shortage of natural gas this winter, but we're going to be paying a lot more for it. Those who follow the industry say they've never seen prices so high or increasing so quickly.
In Colorado, winter arrived with a vengeance. As the weather turns colder, families are going to be struggling to pay the skyrocketing heating bills. Last year, natural gas customers spent an average of $700 for heat during the winter. This year,
you're up there over $1,000. So a very significant increase is projected for this winter.
The Midwest is especially dependent on natural gas. If it's a cold winter, families could spend $1,600 heating their homes. 83-year-old Lillian Drummond lives in Chicago. She is worried about staying warm.
I can hardly pay for the gas bill now, including electricity too. They've gone up so high, and if they go up any more, I don't know what we'll do.
It won't just be tough for those who rely on natural gas. In the Northeast, where heating oil is common, prices are expected to rise 50%. In the South, half the homes rely on electric heat. Their prices could jump 11%.
The basic prices being faced by Americans this year is really quite frightening.
Energy prices are higher partly because of the recent hurricanes, but mostly because demand is outpacing supply. The federal government spent $2.2 billion last year to help low-income families pay heating bills. There's now a call to increase the funds to $5.1 billion, because this year they're expecting 6 million families to apply for help.
We're little people out here, and we are suffering right now.
In the past, price hikes were often temporary. The prices would go up one year, come down the next. But this is the 4th year in a row for increases in natural gas and home heating oil prices. And some energy experts say the days of cheap energy may in fact be over. Elizabeth?
All right, Lisa Stark, thank you so much. When we return, hunting for dirty bombs, an exclusive look inside the secret SWAT teams trying to thwart a nuclear terror attack. It's our series, Loose Nukes. Oprah's Most Wanted, 100,000 missing sex offenders. What happened when the talk show host offered bounties to find them? And what did these birds have to do with family values? Penguins caught in the culture wars.
This is World News Tonight, brought to you by Verizon.
The Verizon Fiber Optic Broadband Network.
Connecting more people
to gaming, video, music, and each other. My job?
My job.
My job, make the network even stronger.
Faster, more powerful.
With our growing team of experts, we're building the only large-scale, fully fiber optic network in America.
To deliver the next generation, phone, internet, and TV. I'm proud.
I'm proud.
I'm proud.
We're proud to be Verizon. Our people, our network.
Lucky me, I've got a Splenda Daddy.
All the sweetest dads know about Splenda, the no-calorie sweetener made from sugar so it tastes like sugar. Almost anywhere you use sugar, you can use Splenda.
To the Thanksgiving traditions of turkey, parades, and football, Publishers Clearinghouse adds a new one.
You've won $1 million from the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Enter by mail or at pch.com, and this Thanksgiving, the winner could be you.
Thank you so much.
We're going to Las Vegas.
Thanks to Polydent, I'm flying free.
We're going to Florida.
And thanks to Polydent, I'm flying free.
It's true. Buy 5 boxes of Polydent and 1 airline ticket and get a second ticket free worth up to $500. You can fly to over 100 places on most airlines. We're going to New York. Yeah, New York. For details, see specially marked boxes or visit Polydent.com. Polydent. Buy 5, fly a friend free.
Good improvement.
Thank you, Doctor.
Cholesterol's down. Well done.
Great.
Hello, doctor's office.
And I gotta tell you, nice job.
Mr. Decker?
I told you we'd get it down.
Yep, even doctors can have high cholesterol. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor can lower your bad cholesterol from 39 to 60%. In fact, more cardiologists surveyed said they prescribe Lipitor for their own family members than any other cholesterol brand. Lipitor is one of many cholesterol-lowering treatment options in addition to diet and exercise that you and your doctor can consider. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or who may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of a rare but serious side effect. Ask your doctor about Lipitor today.
We have an exclusive report tonight about the secret government SWAT teams that are trained to hunt nuclear devices planted by terrorists. It's part of our ABC News series on Loose Nukes. The undercover teams consist of nearly 1,000 members based at 29 locations. They deploy dozens of times a year for drills, random searches, and the occasional real-life emergency. But would they be able to find a real nuclear weapon? Here's ABC's Cynthia McFadden.
On a recent morning at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland,
this is a deployment. We have a deployment time of 1300.
A call is placed that sends out an electronic alert.
Somebody's beeper goes off and they know they're being called in and they know they have a job to do. They know it will involve radiation because that's our specialty. This is a drill. This is a drill.
These anonymous members of the Nuclear Emergency Support Team, or NEST, are nuclear physicists and scientists by day. But when their beepers go off, they go undercover to find a terrorist nuclear weapon or dirty bomb before it explodes. In this drill, the team is told that a nuclear device may be hidden in an undisclosed location. They must show that they can be briefed, packed, and on their way to the site within just 4 hours.
People will be taking protective vests. They've got some chem bio gear just to exit an area in case they get caught in that. There's detection gear, there's communications gear, There's encryption gear.
Everything the team will need to do its job.
All secured, ready to roll.
The team is out the door in less than an hour. But just how hard would it be for them to find a real bomb? The first thing they look for is radiation, which all nuclear material gives off. But scientists admit it would be surprisingly easy for terrorists to block the radiation emitted from most nuclear bombs.
Uranium-235, the bomb stuff, is a very low emission material, and you can stop it with a piece of tinfoil or less.
A piece of tinfoil?
Oh, yes.
The man who oversees NEST remains confident, saying his team employs a range of other techniques that remain classified, and they depend on more than just technology.
None of our techniques in counterterrorism work alone. It depends on intelligence. It depends on cooperation with law enforcement. That's why this is such a complex problem.
How sensitive is the equipment the NEST team uses? Well, when intelligence suggested terrorists had planted a nuclear device in Las Vegas a couple of years ago, NEST searched the city and discovered a cylinder like this one, Elizabeth. It was nothing more than a harmless but radioactive medical treatment for cancer.
That tiny device they were able to track down and locate in the entire city of Las Vegas.
Think about it, a needle in a haystack of needles.
Well, that is reassuring. All right, Cynthia McFadden, thanks so much. Our series continues later this evening on Nightline, which will have more on the nuclear SWAT team. And tomorrow, World News Tonight will examine how close al-Qaeda may be to building a nuclear weapon. You can find all of our reports on this series at abcnews.com. When we come back, the power of celebrity, Oprah Winfrey, and the instantly successful campaign to hunt down child molesters.
Cholesterol comes from two sources. It's not only from that foot-long Frank, but from your Grandpa Frank. And not just from that Virginia ham, but from your Aunt Ginny, too. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the two sources of cholesterol, food and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the two sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
The following message is completely tasteless and completely clear. Benefiber. Unlike Metamucil, it dissolves completely in beverages and is tasteless. Now that's fiberlutionary. Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Finally, a denture adhesive with no messy ooze.
Announcing Polygrip Strips. These slim strips are pre-measured to give you a neat, clean seal with all the hold of a cream. New Polygrip Strips holds all day in a neat new way.
My new grandson should always feel safe in my hands, arthritis, pain, or not. That's why I trust Advil. Even after 20 years, nothing has been proven more effective on tough pain. Not Tylenol, not Aleve.
Advil. Fast, strong, trusted.
If you're over 50 and take calcium, you may be cheating your bones if you don't get enough vitamin D. Yet Tums has none. Caltrate Chewables has D to help optimize calcium absorption. Get more with great-tasting, fruit-flavored Caltrate Chewables.
Marie Callender was like a lot of grandmas, and nobody has ever indulged us like Grandma. A cookie before dinner, the extra scoop, even a fort in the living room was just fine. And Marie Callender's also believes in a little indulgence, so we never cut corners. Like our chicken pot pie. It has a flaky crust made from scratch that's filled with tender chicken and crisp vegetables. Marie Callender's chicken pot pies. Sit down, eat, enjoy.
Tomorrow, what you may not know about your car that could save your life. ABC News has exclusive information on the car fires that take thousands of lives each year. And it doesn't even take an accident. Find out how to prevent them, only on World News Tonight.
Overseas tonight, two items of hopeful news. In Iraq, there are reports of a breakthrough deal on the new constitution, 4 days ahead of a national vote. Large numbers of Sunni Muslims have been threatening to boycott that vote. Well, tonight a major Sunni political party says it may call on its supporters to vote and vote yes. In the West African nation of Liberia, today's presidential elections are being called the dawn of a new era. After 14 years of civil war, voters lined up for hours under the hot tropical sun to cast their ballots. 22 candidates are running. One man waiting in line said, "I'm voting for a leader that can bring peace." Back in this country, the talk show host Oprah Winfrey is getting a lot of attention for a new campaign she has undertaken. This time it's against people who prey on children. The Senate is about to take up legislation designed to crack down on sex offenders who move from place to place without registering with law enforcement. But Oprah isn't waiting for Congress to act. Here's ABC's David Muir.
More than 100,000 sex offenders are unaccounted for and on the loose in the United States, eluding investigators. But no investigator has the kind of weapon Oprah Winfrey has, her audience.
We need to capture these criminals.
Last week, Oprah began showing photos of fugitive sex offenders, offering $100,000 to anyone whose tip leads to an arrest. It did not take long.
2 of those wanted men were captured.
Hers is not the first television program to hunt criminals. There's America's Most Wanted.
John Walsh managed to capture a lot of people with his show. Oprah Winfrey is like John Walsh squared, John Walsh cubed.
Just 2 days after Oprah first showed photos, 2 arrests, including William Davis. Authorities say he got out of prison and allegedly abused 3 more boys and then left Indiana. It was his neighbor in Fargo, North Dakota, who turned him in. He phoned her and was stunned.
I can't believe you guys helped them get me. I said, you were on national television. I thought we were friends. I said, so did I. You've watched my children.
500,000 sex offenders in this country are required by law to register with authorities. More than a quarter of them have not. Child advocates say it is those fugitives who slip away, often moving to another state, knowing full well how to beat the system.
Laws are weaker in another state that I could move to where perhaps there is not the same online registration, same public notification requirement, and I could, in essence, become an offender again in that state more easily.
Authorities welcome Winfrey's efforts with one concern.
It creates a vigilance that's needed. If it becomes vigilantism, it's bad.
But with 2 arrests already and 9 million viewers now looking, no one is about to turn this kind of help away. David Muir, ABC News, New York.
Oprah Winfrey's latest cause. In a world of electronic communication tonight that arrives instantly, a reminder that it's not always so fast. In Iowa, a woman named Evelyn Greenewald just received a postcard from her daughter in Germany. 27 years ago, it was mailed. Ms. Greenewald is 97 now. Her daughter was writing to her to tell her mother that she'd fallen in love. When we come back, looking for family values in the animal kingdom, do the penguins have a message about monogamy?
There's more good news for those with arthritis pain. According to a recent survey, orthopedic doctors prefer Aleve over other leading brands for effective relief of minor arthritis pain. Ask your doctor about the good news. Ask your doctor about Aleve.
The good news is spreading. Aleve is the #1 pharmacist-recommended pain reliever for arthritis for the 6th year in a row. If you suffer from arthritis pain, ask your pharmacist about the good news. Ask your pharmacist about Aleve.
Since I have type 2 diabetes, I try to do what my doctor says.
But her blood sugar is still too high. I exercise whenever I can, but his number still won't come down.
I try to watch what I eat.
But her blood sugar is still not under control.
Even though you diet, exercise, and take your medicine, managing type 2 diabetes can be hard. Adding Avandia can help. Avandia lowers blood sugar. It works differently than other diabetes medicines by helping your body use its own natural insulin better. And Avandia can help maintain blood sugar control.
Avandia may cause fluid retention or swelling, which can make some heart problems worse or lead to heart failure. Avandia is not right for everyone. Talk to your doctor if you have heart failure or liver problems. Blood tests should be used to check for liver problems before starting and while taking Avandia. Avandia may cause weight gain. It may cause low blood sugar when taken with other diabetes medicines and may increase your risk of pregnancy. I got my blood sugar under control. You really did. Could adding Avandia help you?
Tears keep our eyes naturally moist. If you use over-the-counter drops several times a day, you may have chronic dry eye due to decreased tear production. Ask your eye doctor about Restasis. With continued use, Restasis helps increase your natural ability to produce tears, which may be suppressed by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. It should not be used by patients with active eye infections and has not been studied in patients with a history of herpes viral infections of the eye. The most common side effect is a burning sensation.
I'm glad I asked my doctor. Thanks, Restasis.
Your Smart Start, miss. Let's
You need 4 bowls of Smart Start to get the vitamin C in 1 bowl of Total.
Your grape nuts.
More than 10 bowls to match Total's calcium.
Chef recommends 2 spoons.
2 spoons?
Special K for you.
And even 20 bowls of original Special K couldn't equal the whole grain in Total. Only Total has 100% whole grain, 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals, and 100 calories.
We'll take Total.
Sorry, no substitutions.
Total, 1 bowl, 100%.
Coming up on Action 2 News at 6.
An Outagamie County judge is upholding Appleton's smoking ban. Tonight, find out what's next.
Action 2 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
GMA takes you inside a rare and powerful love story. A journalist taken hostage in Iraq. A promise from the woman he loves and her heroic struggle to bring him back alive. Tomorrow, start your day good to go with the true power of love. Only on Good Morning America.
Finally tonight, what do penguins and conservatives have in common? Well, it depends on whom you ask, of course, and it may never even have occurred to you to ask. But after the hugely successful documentary March of the Penguins, some people in the country are asking. Here's ABC's Jake Tapper.
The arduous mating ritual featured in March of the Penguins now has these Antarctic birds waddling right into the culture wars.
And every year, they embark on a nearly impossible journey to find a mate.
Conservative activists are blessing the journey as a celebration of traditional family values.
The last time I remember something like that was, of course, The Passion of the Christ, a very different movie. And this is sort of the Passion of the Penguins.
Conservatives have praised the penguins for being an ideal example of monogamy and held up the unborn chicks as an argument against abortion.
Of a family's journey to bring life into the world.
Some even argue the film presents a case against evolution and for intelligent design.
What you see is an equilibrium, this incredible picture of order and complexity.
But nature and penguins don't always fit cleanly into political agendas. Penguins Roy and Silo, both males, are a same-sex penguin couple here at the Central Park Zoo. Roy and Silo adopted, hatched, and raised a chick together, becoming Tango's foster penguins. So in response to conservatives, the New York Times liberal editorial board asked, if emperor penguins are sending us a message about heterosexual marriage, then what are Roy and Silo doing?
To me, in my 17 years of dealing with penguins, I hadn't seen any different behavior between them and any other pair raising a chick.
Advocates of same-sex marriage extol a children's book about this same-sex penguin family, and Tango makes 3. Except, after 6 years, Silo has ditched Roy. This mating season, he's with a female, Scrappy. When you apply politics to nature, arguments can become pretty slippery. Jake Tapper, ABC News, New York.
Politics and penguins. That's World News Tonight. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.